Mailbag time here on NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. You can give me a follow on Twitter at HGrahamNFL, but I do a lot of NBA commentary as well, especially this time of year with the offseason upon us, at HGrahamNFL on Twitter if you want to interact with me on my Twitter page. So go ahead and give me a follow. We'll start with Jeremy G-Town. Should Dallas re-sign Tim Hardaway Jr.? Hashtag NBA. G-Town, I appreciate this one. Look, I'm definitely leaning in that direction. I would rather bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. than not, Jeremy. At the same time, you need to monitor free agency. You need to see what else is out there. Trades. Obviously, you got a new GM in Nico Harrison, new head coach in Jason Kidd. So a lot of things at play here. But Tim Hardaway Jr., I thought played well last year and deserves to get paid by somebody, and that might end up being the Dallas Mavericks. What do you guys think? Should Dallas re-sign Tim Hardaway? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Get your votes in on this one. You can follow our Mavs channel at youtube.com/MavsTV. THJ, the question for Dallas, what's his role? Is he your number 3? I think if he's your number 3, that's okay. Can't be your number 2 like he was asked to be in the playoffs last year with Porzingis being an absolute stiff. So Y for yes, in for no. Let us know if you guys believe that Dallas should re-sign Tim Hardaway Jr. this offseason. StockFan122, golly, my voice just cracked. What do the Utah Jazz need to do this offseason? I thought someone put this really well. They just need to be healthy. If Donovan Mitchell's ankle is not at 50% or whatever, they probably win that series. They got up 2-0, lost a couple of close games, and the Clippers won it and won 4 straight. They're close. Now, could they, tweak a couple of things, maybe add another bench piece? Sure, but I don't think you blow it up because you lost in 6 when your best player was maybe 80% overall. Like, if Mitchell's 100% or, 90, 95, what, healthy players are in the playoffs, I think they probably have a good chance of winning that series and going to the conference finals. Vincent Sorletti, what should the Sixers do this offseason, as well as trading Ben Simmons? Obviously, the Simmons storyline is the one to watch. Do you shop Tobias Harris as well? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure what you would get for him. He's clearly overpaid. Good player, played well this year, but teams don't want to pay Tobias Harris almost $40 million per year. Obviously, Simmons, coming off this playoff run, is the headline in Philly right now. What do you do with him? Do you truly try to develop a jump shot with him? Like, do you actually give it a go? You could try. We'll have to wait and see, but that playoff showing was pretty darn poor. So I appreciate the question, Vincent. Obviously, the Sixers have some decisions to make. Go to Rome next, and if you guys super chat, we'll get to those. Got one coming in. Should the Knicks sign Lonzo Ball? I think he should be on their shortish list. I would try to swing bigger at first if I'm New York. You finally are a somewhat attractive destination. You've got a head coach in Tom Thibodeau who is, a proven winner in this league, albeit, it hasn't always been smooth sailing with him. Julius Randle's there, RJ Barrett, you've got some talent. Lonzo, if you can't trade for Dame or, get a guy like CP3, which I think is a huge long shot, don't think that's very likely. I think Lonzo after that makes some sense. You're probably going to have to overpay because he's a restricted free agent, but that'll be one to watch. I think the Knicks need to get a point guard this offseason. C-Tech, appreciate the super. What can the Knicks pull off this offseason? I think priority number 1 is getting a point guard. Like, you can't run out the Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina, Derrick Rose combo. D Rose, great backup point guard, 6th man even. Like, he has proven that his game can age. Like, he's really adapted. He's become a better shooter. That floater game is nasty, but he should not be your best player in the playoffs, which is what he basically was this year because Randle just had a bad postseason. If he's your backup point guard, that's fantastic. You get Alonzo, you swing big for Lillard. We'll see what happens there, but I do think the Knicks are a big team to watch out for this summer. They've got a lot of cap space as well, so they can be very aggressive. Tom Downey's burner account, assuming Cade Cunningham goes number 1, he's going to go number 1. Don't have to assume, barring some major medical issue popping up. What is the best case scenario for the Cavs in the draft? Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think the Cavs are picking number 3 overall. And that is correct. They are number 3. Your best case scenario is whichever player you're targeting after Cade doesn't go 2, right? Doesn't go to the Rockets at number 2. Don't draft a guard. Draft a wing or a big. How about Evan Mobley out of USC? I think he would be an interesting player in Cleveland. Actually, his game is somewhat similar to Kevin Love's, who is obviously old and not the same guy. For hype, I love player comparisons. Jokic or Embiid? I mean, what's your flavor, right? Jokic stays healthier, so if you value that, I think Embiid is more impactful when fully healthy, but Jokic is the MVP. And that was not a fluke. He was unreal this year. He's a 7-foot center that handles and passes like a point guard, shoots like a shooting guard, and rebounds like a big. I mean, not a great defender, but offensively he is incredibly unique and incredibly talented. And Embiid is as physical of a presence we've seen down low since Shaq, and he can shoot from 3. So he's absolutely fantastic. They're both great. If they're all fully healthy, I'll take Embiid, but the safe play is Jokic. Wow factor, #NBA, what do the Rockets need to do this offseason, and what 3 players will be drafted by the Rockets on draft day? I don't know. At number 2, I think you just got to decide who's the best player available. The Rockets shouldn't get positionally picky in the draft. If you think Mobley's the next best guy, take him. If you think Suggs is the next best guy, again, after Cade Cunningham, take him. Whoever that is, take that guy and go from there. As far as your offseason roster, I wouldn't spend on any big fish. I would be patient and kind of commit to a rebuild here. Omega with the $10 super. Appreciate that, my friend. Utah Jazz aren't close. They're a regular season team, not the playoffs. So long as Gobert is their best defensive player, they won't win a championship because all the best teams will expose them outside of 3 feet. Look, on switches, he does get exposed at times. He's a great rim protector. But, yeah, another perimeter defender would help. There's no doubt about that. But you tell me, Omega, you get up 2-0 in that series. Mitchell kind of retweaks that ankle again. If Mitchell doesn't have a bad ankle, I think the Jazz win that series. That's not shade on the Clippers. They're a very good team. They could have still come back, but the Jazz were rolling. They lost a close game 3, and it changed the series with Mitchell hurt. Plus, Conley missed, 4 of 6 games? That really hurts when 2 of your top 3 guys are either hurt or out. So I don't think this is a refix the whole roster situation. I think you got to be healthier. Maybe go sign another defender for this rotation. Now, we have a few NBA team channels here at Chat Sports. Obviously, our main channel is youtube.com/chatsportstv. And, Perry, we can cycle through the team channel L3s as well. The Lakers report is at 36,300-something subscribers, and you can subscribe to that channel at youtube.com/LakersTV. Golden State Warriors today, for you Warriors fans, we've been growing like crazy over there. 18.2 thousand subs. That's at youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Dallas Mavericks today, I've kind of taken charge on this channel, bringing that one back to life. 13.5 thousand subs. youtube.com/MavsTV. A lot of offseason drama. We're going to keep bringing the heat over there. Then Boston Celtics today. They've had a busy offseason as well, closing in on 6,000 subscribers. That one is at youtube.com/CelticsTV. If you're a fan of any of these teams, go check out those channels right now. StockFan122, should the Utah Jazz go for Damian Lillard? I saw this. I also saw Damian Lillard. Someone says, what do you think of the edit? And it was him being in a Utah Jazz jersey, and he said trash. Is that what he said, Producer Perry, who's our NBA-centric guru here at Chat Sports? I couldn't remember his exact wording. Yeah, he said horrible Photoshop. That's what he said. He ain't going to Utah. That's not where he wants to go. Would it be fun with him and Donovan Mitchell? Yeah, but it's also a similar situation. Mitchell's undersized. Your 2 best players would be undersized guards. He should go somewhere where they have a 6'6", 6'7" shooting guard or another, Luka's not a shooting guard, but him in Dallas with Lillard would be really interesting because Luka's a bigger defender. He's not a great defender, but he's bigger. Hey, we're all watching what Damian Lillard's doing this offseason and if he'll get traded. Just don't think that it will be to the Utah Jazz, but appreciate the question, Stock Fan, on that one. Keep it rolling here with Vincent, first head coach to be fired after this upcoming season, and should the Sixers draft Jalen Suggs? Well, how are they going to do that? They're going to trade up to be fair, you trade Ben Simmons to Golden State and you get that number 7 pick. Maybe you get closer if you do that. he's a good player. If you have a high draft pick, sure, but I don't think that's very likely. As far as first head coach to be fired after this upcoming season, how about Luke Walton? He's trash. I'm sorry. He's just not any good. Sacramento's a mess. Get Luke out of Sacktown. Dave East, chances Celtics land Dame. I don't know, 10%. I don't think it's very high, but it's possible, but I don't think it's super likely. I think they should pursue it, though, Dave. Appreciate the question. Marquise Robertson, Jarrett Allen to the Lakers for Kyle Kuzma and Marc Gasol. Why would – remind me where Allen is. He in Cleveland? Well, first of all, he's a free agent, so it'd have to be a sign and trade. But why would Cleveland do that? Gasol's like 40, and Kuzma's – let's just call it a spade. He's come up so empty the last two postseasons. I'm not touching that guy right now. Jarrett Allen's a nice young center. I would not do that if I was the Cavs. But for the Lakers, it'd be a great trade, obviously. Bobby Bernard. Will Curry leave or re-sign with the Golden State Warriors? He's re-signing. He's a lifer, dude. He maybe he'll play a season or two at the end of his career with a different team if he wants to chase a ring elsewhere, if, he feels like he needs to do that. But they're not at that point. Warriors are going to be contending next year if Klay Thompson's healthy, and they might make a move or two this offseason. So he'll re-sign. I believe he'll play with one team his entire career, and that's obviously Golden State. Omega bringing it with the Supers today. You're the man. It was the Jazz two best players, Gobert and D-Mitch, versus one of the two, George and Kawhi, was out the last two games. That's true. Missed a couple of games. Jazz should have won the series going away since they are also at home. Listen, man, I appreciate the super chats, and I love the back and forth. That's what we're about here at Chat Sports. I can only give you my opinion. Yeah, Kawhi missed two games, and that's, it was 2-2, and Kawhi was out. Mitchell was about 70%. Conley was out game 5. Came back game 6, but he clearly wasn't right. I think if both those teams are fully healthy, the way the Jazz played this year, I think the Jazz would have won. But they didn't. So I think if we're sitting here next offseason and the Jazz are 1 and done in the playoffs or 2 and done, then, yeah, that's a different story. For Hype, appreciate the question. Was Rick Carlisle a good pickup for Indiana? Yeah, I think so. And, I kind of spoke out of turn the other day on our Mavericks channel, youtube.com/MavsTV, when I said that it's a full rebuild in Indiana. I don't think it's a full rebuild, actually, the more I've looked at it. I forgot they got Karis LeVert in that trade. I think that was a nice pickup for Indiana in that James Harden trade. You got Sabonis, you got Turner. I still think you got to get rid of one of those two at some point. Brogdon's a nice young piece. They're not ready to contend at a high level, but that's probably a playoff team if fully healthy. You got TJ Warren as well, who missed most of last season. So, yeah, I do think that's a good pickup, and he's coached there before and had some success. Mark Mullo, any plans to release a Toronto Raptors channel? Hey, subscribe to our main channel, and you never know what could happen. It wouldn't. The Lakers report, Warriors today, Mavericks today, and our Celtics channel would not have been possible without more subscribers and growth on Chat Sports. So subscribe to us here, and hey, maybe we will launch more channels in the future. Ronald Smith, should the Lakers sign Spencer Dinwiddie? This is an interesting one. Dinwiddie's expected to opt out of his player option with the Nets. I think he kind of sees that, okay, we've got Harden, we've got Kyrie now. My role is going to be diminished, and I'm looking to cash in. I think that's Dinwiddie's thought process. 2 seasons ago, because he only played in 3 games this past year, had an ACL injury, he was pretty solid. I mean, the efficiency wasn't great, but the Nets also weren't great around him. 21-7, 42% from the field, 31 from 3. I think those numbers can go up if he plays on a team with more talent. From that season. Obviously, the Nets are loaded now. I like Dinwiddie. I'll be curious to see what his market is, though, because he's opting out of about $12 million if he does indeed opt out, which means he wants more than that. If the Lakers are going to pay that, obviously you can't re-sign Dennis Schroeder in that case, which, hey, Dinwiddie could be your Schroeder replacement if you want to go that route. Who do you guys think is going to win the NBA championship this year? The finals. LAC for the Clippers. Type ATL for the Hawks. Type PHX for the Phoenix Suns. And you can type MIL for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's been a fun playoff so far. I think it's still wide open with these 4 teams still playing ball. So let us know down in the comments section. And while you're at it, hit that big red subscribe button here at Chat Sports. It's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We have the latest NBA news, rumors. We go live here on Fridays and bring you the latest surrounding the National Basketball Association. Plus, if you are NFL or football fans, tons of NFL videos as well. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Do not miss any of our coverage here at Chat Sports.